We're going to be talking about the Meta community standards and how they have changed over the past few years and how they're stricter than ever. If we're looking at new advertisers coming into the space, people are experiencing more bans, more shutdowns, more disabling and restrictions than ever before. But at the same time, people are finding success like never before starting Q1 2025 back on Meta. So this video is going to be for those of you guys either starting or looking to start campaigns on Meta ads and you're not able to get your ads approved or you're not able to keep your ad accounts alive. Even a small strike to your account can affect your entire business. So it's important that you have the right foundations in place so when you are scaling, you are not left behind when Meta is shutting your business manager down because of a categorization issue or an ad flagging that's done by the backend AI. So if you are running any offers in the pharma, crypto, finance, educational info spaces, you need to realize that Meta's AI is going to crack down faster than ever, and you are going to be left with dead campaigns. If you're not making sure that everything is up to their compliance and it's been tested not to be flagged by their AI algorithm, you are going to be left with a much better outcome if you focus on that first. So I always talk about this. The priority is reactivation speed, not just opening up appeals and tickets. There is ways for those to work. If you have the right format and you have the right argument to make with them and you're able to make contact with them, that is a possible route. But at the same time, you need to be ready to just replace the entire page or replace the entire ad if you need to create an entire new set of ads because all of a sudden Meta's AI decided that this angle that you've been taking and it's working is all of a sudden going to be seen as non-compliant. And this is specifically for these higher risk industries, right? When you're doing pharma or crypto ads, at one point the algorithm may let that ad go through, and then if you do it again on the same exact account that's prepped for scale, then you could be left with a completely different outcome. And that's just because this AI is constantly being updated. I know the Andromeda update, I just made a video about it if you want to go check it out. The last video I made, Andromeda is changing the game in terms of the data they're using to train targeting as well as profiling your audience. So just understand that, and this includes the speed at which they're iterating creative checking. So you need to just make sure that the smallest things that can make you non-compliant have already been tested thoroughly, and you're not wasting time and spend making sure that those tests are done. So you go the appeal route, they start stacking up over time. Nobody on the Meta side takes ownership of this case, and eventually you get hit with one of the automatic replies. And this is so common for small accounts and people who are just trying to get into a new offer and they've never had that thorough testing on the creative side, and they never tested the copy. They just used GPT. I think GPT is helpful to an extent, but 100% it cannot tell you which creatives and what copy is going to get flagged. You need to be a bit more creative, but try to use the Meta guidelines. I'll make an entire video just diving through these guidelines, but in this video, I want to talk really about the infrastructure side and making sure that your time to get live back is as soon as possible. So you could be experiencing these types of things monthly or even weekly, depending on how high risk your offer is. Some of the problems could be that your billing profile reputation is unclear, the health of your business manager is unknown, there's no history to it, and if the volume of your event signals dries up, that's the worst possible thing to happen to you. This is the point at which your entire business could shut down and you're at risk of going to zero. The signals cannot stop, no matter what, even if they're coming from a different ad set, a different ad account. You need to make sure that Pixel is firing and events are sending properly, even at a lower volume, because if every time you are shutting things down, no matter what, it is resetting, the way in which that event is being targeted. This is completely separate from the learning phase that they say on the ad sets and on the ad side. That's an entire different concept. What I'm trying to explain is that the custom events that you are receiving cannot stop, and if they reach 0 on any days, you probably are looking at a full climb back up as if you never had an ad account. So the first thing that we would do when you get a restriction or disable asset of any kind, we would map which asset is actually blocked. So you have to distinguish, is it the ad account? Is it the business manager? Is it just a payment issue because you are using the same payment method in multiple places? And then we're gonna pull your last 7-day creative trail and look at where this violation started happening. Did they give you a warning about it? Was it only happening in isolated ad sets? And that would really open up a picture on whether the appeal route or the replacement route makes a lot more sense. So if restoring the asset is viable, then at that point, we were looking for what is the point at which it failed, and then presenting that case to an inside meta rep that we would make sure gets to your case and takes a look at the very least is able to go through your case and not just get an automatic response. The best other option is to open up another asset in the temporary time being while the original one is getting restored. So you can sort of carry that brand trust over with multiple accounts as long as they are promoting in the right way, ethically, and they do so efficiently. So if not, the other way is to get your business information transferred over to a working asset, and so that makes sure that all of the brand trust carries over at the same time. You're able to spend and scale with no issues then. After that's all done, the last thing is to make sure that none of the learning memory has been wiped. If you are running from brand new events or you're running from a brand new account, it's very imperative that you transfer all of the data from the previous ad account over to the new one. And you should see a pixel as sort of a moving data container. You should always own that. That is your asset. It's as important, if not more important, than your entire account and your page and all your followers, because without your pixel, your learning memories is gone. So you are starting from 0 by every definition of that. And then if you republish the proven structures with that data set, you're going to be in a much better position to scale. Don't gamble the downtime. Let us take a look, and based off of the hundreds of these types of cases we've seen, we can take a look and see if we can restore it or go ahead and replace it for you and transfer that data in an efficient way. Other than that, we also have our conversion win scale setup, which is essentially everything I described all packaged into one for you, maintained by our team 24/7. We're based in New York City. You would have 24/7 access to our team members who would then be able to support you in any downtime scenarios. So whatever type of business you're running, if it's a high risk offer and you need those tools for scale, you can check out that setup below. Other than that, leave any comments below, and we appreciate the time, guys.